Hi guys, I was just looking at the faithfulness of God through the books of the Bible, and this starts when God calls Abraham and tells him to leave his people and his country, and that God is going to show him another place that is gonna give him to live, him and his descendants. And so he calls him, and Abraham in faith follows God. And Abraham is about 75 years old, and the wife is barren. They have no child of their own, and God is telling him, Abraham, I'm going to give you a son, and through you, you're going to have many descendants. You'll be a father of many nations. And Abraham is like, God, I don't even have my own son, and I think Eliezer, my servant, is the one who's going to be my heir. And God tells him, no. The heir of your things will be your son, because I'll give you a son. And so he tells him to go outside, and he tells him to count the stars. He can be able to count. And he tells him, I will give you so many children, so many sons. He tells him to count even the sand. And he tells him, I will multiply you, I will increase you. And so later on, Abraham gets a son who is Isaac. And after some time, Abraham dies, and so so God tells Isaac, you see the things I promised your daddy, those things I will fulfill through you. I will multiply you, I will bless you, I will increase you. And so Isaac gets two sons, Esau and Jacob. And through Jacob, God still repeats the same thing to Jacob. He tells him, you see the things I promised your grandpa and your father, I will fulfill them. I will multiply you, I will increase you. You will be taken into captivity for 400 years, but then I will save you, I will redeem you, and I will settle you. I will give you a land, a land of plenty, full of milk and honey. And so through Jacob gets the 12 patriarchs. And so it happens that Joseph is sold into slavery by his brothers in Egypt. And there, through God's hand, he becomes, I think, the prime minister of Egypt. And so one day, drought hits Canaan. And so the sons of Jacob have to go to Egypt to look for seed. And they go there and they find out that Joseph is the prime minister there. And it's a long story. So somehow Jacob and his sons have to go to Egypt, because now there is a drought in Canaan and they cannot continue living there because they will starve to death. So they decide, if Joseph is the one who is the prime minister there, let's go. And so by the time they are going to Egypt, they are around 70. Jacob had 70 descendants. So they go to Egypt, and they live in Egypt for some time. And so Jacob dies, and after some time Joseph dies, and even the Pharaoh who knew Joseph dies. And so another Pharaoh comes up who does not know Joseph or anything that Joseph did. And I think all that generation dies. And so when this Pharaoh comes, he's scared, because at that time God is multiplying the Israelites. They are increasing in crazy numbers. And so this Pharaoh is scared. He tells his people, these Israelites, if we do not take care of them the way they are growing, we're going to have a problem. Imagine we have an enemy, and then they join our enemies to fight us, so we have to do something. And what they do is they start giving them hard labor. They start mistreating them, and they are harsh to them. And these kids cry to God, and God hears their cry. So God finds Moses in the wilderness. Moses had killed an Egyptian, and he had run away to the wilderness. So he finds him, and he tells him, I want to send you back to Egypt to go and rescue my children, because they are crying to me. They are being mistreated, and I've seen the wickedness that has been done upon them, and I want to save them. So I'm sending you. And when I send you, this is what you're going to tell Pharaoh. This is what you're going to do, And so Moses goes, and he did all the miraculous signs and wonders to Pharaoh, until at last they were released to go. And when they were coming out of Egypt, the Bible says that they were about 600,000, and supposing this were only men peke yao, not counting kids and women. They were 600,000, and I was like, whoa. I mean, when they were going to Egypt, they were only 70, and when they are coming out, they are 600,000. What? As in, the very thing that God promised Abraham is happening. You know, it is unfolding. It is, as in, you see God fulfilling his promises. You know, long after Abraham is dead, long after, you know, Isaac died, long after Jacob is dead, God is still keeping his word. God is still keeping his part of the agreement, is part of the covenant. He has increased them, he has multiplied them, and now he has rescued them from Egypt. And you see them on a journey with God. God going to settle them in where he had told them he will settle them. And he tells them, you will be a nation of priests to me, a kingdom of priests to me. And he tells them, if only you will hear my commandments and obey them and listen to me and do what I'm telling you to do, I will remove all the diseases that I put upon Egypt among you, in your midst. You know, you will be my special people. And in that wilderness, the Amalekites tried to fight them, and God gave them victory. And then he tells Moses, I want you to write this down and rehearse it in Joshua's hearing, that I will totally destroy, I will utterly destroy the Amalekites and remove them from the face of the earth for trying to mess with you. And also God fulfills that in Samuel, where he tells Saul to go and destroy them because they tried to mess with God's people, God's special people. And as I was reading this, as I was seeing this unfold right before my eyes, I was like, God is faithful. God is so faithful. Once he promises you something, he does not turn back. Whether you are there or not, he will still keep his word. You know, I see ourselves selling our loyalty to, you know, our leaders who come and tell us, you know, vote for me, I'm gonna give you this and that and that. But let me tell you, you will never find anybody as faithful as God. You will never find anyone as faithful as God. He had promised them, you will go into captivity for 400 years. And then 430 years later, you see him rescuing them, doing exactly everything he had said he will do. God will fulfill his promises in your life. He is faithful through and through. And nobody can tell me anything otherwise. Like God is faithful. That I know, that I have seen, I have read, I have seen it unfold, you know, with our forefathers, that God did what he had promised them. Long after they were gone, he still kept his promise. So God is faithful, and you will never find anybody as faithful as God. So I pray that we will keep our faith in God. We learn to trust him, to rely in him, to depend on him, you know, because he will never let you down. He will never fail you. As long as he has said it, he will do it, no matter how long it takes. Just need to have faith in God. Have a lovely day.